Question coming from Heavier First. What is the best watch to buy new around 5,000 that's great to dress up or down and delivers great value?
That is so difficult. Why don't you start with this one?
Okay, for 5,000 new. Well, I'd say first and foremost, for $5,000 new, I would take one of my winners of 2016, and that, and I believe Pheline has a photo for us, is the Rado HyperChrome Ultralight. Now, this is a 43mm watch that treads on turf formerly attacked by the likes of F.P. Journe with his sports series, and before that, most notably Hublot with the Mag Bang, one of the legitimately interesting horological accomplishments of Hublot before the Unico. Now, the Rado HyperChrome Ultralight gives you titanium, aluminum, and ceramic in a package with an ultra-thin automatic caliber and 100-meter water resistance. At 43mm, it can dress up or down, and it trades on its thinness and its lightness. At 56 grams, we're talking only 2 ounces, and it disappears under a cuff. Is it bigger than a conventional dress watch? You better believe it. But between the sleek, monotone, metallic aesthetic and the Zen garden-like curly cue of the dial brushing, this is a watch that pulls off elegance while remaining sporty. That's my pick for under $5,000.
What a pick. That was so out of left field, but you nailed it. I think you nailed it, but I would have never have guessed. Never.
But that was kind of a lower profile Basel debut this year, not just under 5,000, under 3,000.
Yeah,
I really like it.
I'm going to go with something that is technically slightly over 5,000, but you can definitely get it for 5,000.
Yeah. Discounts are real, guys. Remember that.
Absolutely real, and that is the Glashutte Original Senator Datum, and this is not with the panorama date. It's a 38mm watch. It's got the sub-seconds and the date in a pointer style on the dial. It's automatic, it's fully in-house, made in Glashutte, obviously it comes in steel. It's missing a few of the frills, like it doesn't have the gold rotor that a lot of the Glashuttes are famous for, but then again, you're getting a fully in-house German-made watch for about $5,000. It's the perfect size to dress up or down, and it's got a lot of cachet. I mean, personally, that's what I think is a good move.
I think that's another great kind of off the beaten path pick. First of all, that's a great brand. Again, behind the Iron Curtain for so many decades, Glashutte Original developed the ability to construct just about every part of watch, the tooling used to make the watch, and the training programs necessary to bring up the finisseurs, the watchmakers, and the tool specialists.
They actually own their own watchmaking school.
This is true. Original. This is true.
And actually, most German brands do as well, because Nomos and Wempe do as well, which is pretty impressive.
Glashutte, well on its way to recovering, now a center of artisanal watchmaking. Also worth mentioning that Glashutte Original recently bought a dial manufacturer in Forsheim, so they have that element too.
And they make fantastic stuff. Their new Panomatic Lunars with the blue, great looking dials. You guys should actually Google a picture of that. You should see the kind of engraving work on the dial. It's very, very well done.
Yeah, I think you're really going to like that. Now, other questions coming in. This is from Jason Whitehurst, who's asking, what do you think about Nomos developing their own mainspring and being fully independent? Will they start providing movements when ETA gets more expensive? I'm going to attack this and I'm going to hand it to Federico. What I think is that Nomos is preparing for a future that may not arrive. At the moment, I can easily see ETA choosing, and remember, Swatch Group is not just ETA. It's everything from ETA to Nivarox. I mean, it's companies that make batteries like Renata. It's companies that specialize, like I believe there's one called Commodore that makes like stones and pivot jewels and sapphires.
High-end movements like Manufacture Blancpain, which is the old Frederic Piguet.
And of course, Lemania integrated into Breguet still supplies calibers. I think it's important to note that Nomos was planning for the world of tomorrow circa 2010, when we thought that apocalypse was a hard and fixed number. And I believe that Swatch Group, in order to drive profits and try to sustain the number of watchmakers and technical specialists it has on hand, it doesn't want to lay off these people, and it's been resisting even in this market. I think Nomos can look forward to providing fewer parts, finished engineering jobs, and especially hairsprings, than they would have at first expected, because there are Swiss government restrictions on how quickly ETA can draw down the supply,
Yes.
and then there are separate restrictions on how quickly Nivarox, which makes the hairsprings, can draw down supply, and that's arguably the more sensitive matter. I think both are going to be extended by Swatch Group in a soft extension to keep driving profits and try to support their flagging brands.
They already have, I think, extended the whole ETA thing. Personally, I say good for the brand. Being fully in-house is what made Nomos great. Today, you get a ton of value for $2,000-$3,000. But as far as supplying the other brands, I don't think we're anywhere near that, because their facilities are just too small. They have too few watchmakers. They're having trouble supplying their own calibers. And I love Nomos. They're one of my favorite brands out there. But you can see the growing pains. They have some QC, quality control issues, which they get fixed and they stand behind their product and it's nothing to worry about. But before we see them supplying other brands with hairsprings and mainsprings, I think they have a little expanding to do.
Yeah, I think the best way to look at Nomos' manufacturing capabilities and their potential as a supplier beyond their own component and movement needs is almost like Tesla. They're sort of pioneering many simultaneous in-house technological developments and the manufacturing methods and the Q&A process. And
Yes.
one of the downsides of being on the cutting edge is sometimes you get cut. And that's where Tesla and Nomos's, after-sales service and follow-up and customer support becomes really important. So I see Nomos throttling up production slowly, both because of limitations in capability and because market forces are no longer as linear as we saw them 3-4 years ago.
Oh, nowhere near as linear. 3-4 years ago, guys, no more ETA. Breitling made the B01. IWC introduced their new in-house calibers. Everybody was making an in-house caliber, Cartier, with the 1904 MC. Simply because ETA was supposed to be long gone at this point.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen, and it doesn't look like it will happen for the foreseeable future, as you said.
The timelines have changed. It's almost like Terminator. The future keeps morphing before our eyes as developments unfold in the present.
Skynet.
And I'm not making a veiled reference to Arnold Schwarzenegger brand watches that popped up a few years ago.
Did he really?
Yeah, he had his own brand for like 5 minutes.
Well, but for 5 minutes, he was also a big AP ambassador, and then he started wearing Invicta, so I don't really know what
I
happened.
don't know. Celebrity watch associations are hard. I can't do that. That's where I kind of like take my hands off and push the I believe button.